So long, dental plan. Dental plan.
Lisa needs braces.
Dental plan.
Lisa needs braces.
Dental plan.
Lisa needs braces.
Run the football. Fast matchup in the passing game. Run the football. Fast matchup in the passing game. Run the football. Fast matchup in the passing game. Run the football. Fast matchup in the passing game.
Lisa needs braces.
Bullseye!
Thanks a lot, Carl. Now I've lost my train of thought.
Run the football. Fast matchup in the passing game. Run the football. Fast matchup in the passing game.
Now I'm starting to question whether Zimmer's actually doing this on purpose, like pretending they're gonna run the ball, because he's got to know they can't do it. First big question is, would Cousins come up with a better pep talk than last week? Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Answer, no.
Stay together, it's not gonna be perfect! It will not be perfect!
You will not be perfect! You will screw up! I order you! First off, it's mostly the defense there. They look about as excited as Richard Simmons looking through the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. Riley Reif looks like he's still trying to recover from last week's beatdown by Khalil Mack. Or as Mike Zimmer calls Khalil Mack, who's that 52? I mean, is this team that emotionally fragile that they need to be told they're not going to be perfect? The other big question after seeing number 52, Khalil Mack, dominate last week, who is the better 52? Is it president of overratedness Clay Matthews for the Packers, or is it referee Bill Vinovich? Now it's kind of a wash because neither of them has made a meaningful tackle in years. Another question might be which one is more helpful to the Green Bay Packers. And that was a clear winner. Bill Vinovich was way more helpful. Whether it was not calling an obvious running into the kicker penalty at the end of the first half.
This is clearly a foul at a minimum for running into the kicker.
Or not calling holding on the Packers on a million different plays where they were holding. Not calling Diggs getting thrown 5 yards out of bounds. Generally calling every borderline offsides or false start in the Packers' favor.
Actually, it looks like the end man on the line of scrimmage is offside.
Hold on, Everson Griffen. I said borderline, but that did go in the Packers' favor too. About the only person that number 52, Clay Matthews, was better than was number 51 for the Packers. If Kyler Fackrell
for the Green Bay Packers, who, let's face it, is not Khalil Mack.
Kyler Fackler, I think he was in the Police Academy movies.
It's good to be back.
Offensively, it started so bad for the Vikings. The first series was basically a carbon copy of the first series from last week's game, where you throw a quick pass to Diggs on first down, and then on 3rd and 1, you run up the middle and get stuffed. Which makes a lot of sense to try to run up the middle in short yardage. I mean, your O-line couldn't get a push against the U.S. men's figure skating team, but you want to run the ball, so that's what you're going to do, right? But wait a minute. Zimmer's showing some guts. 4th and 1 in his own territory. They're going to go for it. Now, are they going to run up the middle? Well, Brad Childress was the Wisconsin offensive coordinator in 1994, the last time the Gophers won at Madison. And so the Vikings, in honor of Brad Childress, 12 men coming out of a timeout.
Ugh, is what you say to that.
Now the Vikings' second possession started with basically the worst play ever conceived, excluding any play that Brad Childress came up with. You put your two best receivers right next to each other. You throw a quick pass to one of them, then the other one gets hit so hard that there's a 50% chance he's going to be out for the rest of the game. And then Diggs decides he's Kirk Cousins on 3rd and 21 against the Jets and just starts sprinting towards the end zone to try to get a safety, and then he decides, oh, I'll just lose 10 yards, that's enough. Then the next play you're hoping for an incompletion, so you throw it at Treadwell's hands. And then on 3rd and 14, it's just this looks like the end for Kirk Cousins. No recovering from this one.
And it just doesn't look like pro football.
So things started so bad for the offense. How did the defense do? Well, before the game, I was wondering, who's the lowest rated player on the Vikings defense, according to Pro Football Focus?
Xavier Rhodes, FSU.
Lowest rated, Xavier Rhodes. Big shock! But let's show how Xavier Rhodes single-handedly gave Green Bay a touchdown on that first drive. First, he interferes with Adams down the sideline. He holds them and then holds them and then holds them and ends up getting a pass interference penalty.
Watch this right there.
Automatic first down.
And there. Pretty clear foul.
And then, closer to the goal line, Rodgers just checks to see that Rhodes isn't looking, which he knew he wouldn't be. Rhodes makes a pathetic attempt to push Adams out of bounds, touchdown. That's your all-pro. And that's a smart play by Rodgers, but it's also extremely obvious. Why doesn't everybody do that? Good news, though. The Vikings offense woke up, and they woke up by running the ball, right? No! Of course not! By passing. Thielen, Diggs, Rudolph. And then that amazing touchdown pass to Cook where he just it was like he just got shot out of a cannon. That was so cool to see. Nice touchdown celebration there, by the way. And you notice how Treadwell comes in and he managed to position himself right in front of Thielen's crotch? Probably not a coincidence. As always, it's the passing game bailing us out. It was the offensive line giving Cousins all day to throw. It was an amazing blitz pickup by Latavius Murray. Some of it was play calling, getting Cousins out of the pocket. You don't give him a chance to stand in the pocket because you know it'll screw up. You get him out of the pocket, like on that play last week where he airmailed a wide open Stephon Diggs by like 5 yards. Or early in the Rams game when you were dominating the Rams defense and you decided, well, I want to run the ball and lose, and that's what happened. The Vikings get the ball back down 14-7, and then the run game takes over, right? That's how they get back into the game. That's how they tie it up. No, of course not. Rudolph. Then, of course, Cousins decided he wanted an incompletion, so he threw it at Treadwell's hands. And then, awesome touchdown pass to Diggs. Amazing what happens when you have good play calling that keeps the defense off balance rather than doing exactly what the defense think you'll do. There are a number of great catches by Thielen and the obligatory Thielen is not athletic comments.
Adam Thielen, he's not the greatest athlete in the world. He's just clever. Watch this. Makes a nice move, sprints hard, and then just hits the brakes.
He's leading the NFL in receptions. He is a great athlete. Adam Thielen is the Vikings' #1 receiver, okay? Vikings front four did a pretty good job getting pressure without needing to blitz much. That was nice. They're going to need that next week against the Patriots. There was like a third down where the whole line got tons of pressure except Everson Griffen, and they got a sack. Although Griffen did get a pity sack later in the game. But in the end, it was an incredibly unathletic touchdown catch by Adam Thielen that sealed it. I think the Packers defenders had to be talked out of killing themselves for allowing someone as incredibly unathletic as Adam Thielen to get into the end zone, because he's so unathletic, you know, leading the NFL in receptions. Once the game was pretty much in hand, though, we got what I would say is the play of the game. Play, of course, where Xavier Rhodes got shot. He had to have been shot. There's no other way to explain how he reacted at the end of that play. Now, everyone with one more IQ point than Laquan Treadwell knew that it wasn't really serious, but you still got the people online like, oh, gee, I hope he's okay. I hope he's not out for the season. Does this every game. Wake up, you idiots. Now, the Vikings should have put it away long before, but they officially sealed it when Diggs made a catch on a very errant throw by Cousins at the end. And of course, if Diggs hadn't been able to catch that pass that was way behind him and it was bounced off his hands and was intercepted, that would have been completely Diggs' fault, because as we know, it's not Cousins' fault at all. So it's good that Diggs caught it, made that very difficult catch, because if he hadn't, it would have been all his fault. But let's talk about my buddy Cousins. Okay, he did play differently. Saw him do things that he hasn't really done this year. Stepping up in the pocket, rolling out consistently, which is really a play calling thing. And you got to keep doing that. You got to keep doing that. You cannot let him stand in the pocket. Pump fake, hadn't seen that all year. That was just him deciding not to throw it. It wasn't intentional. Pass batted down. Of course, we've seen that before. The big play for me that was really different, though, was like a 3rd and long at the end. Cousins, he ran, and he was going for the first down. And he didn't get it, but he got hit, you know, probably scored some points with his teammates there that he had lost in previous weeks with his performances. Hopefully he doesn't get hurt doing that, but it's good to see that he was running more. There were a couple other times where he ran. And I think him scoring those points with his teammates, maybe next week when he gives his pep talk, his teammates won't look so bored that they want to all kill themselves. But I still don't trust Cousins. If the Green Bay defense had brought any sort of pass rush at all, the result could have been different. And it's kind of a chicken and egg thing with Cousins, because if there's good play calling that keeps the defense off balance, you get Cousins out of the pocket, he's very good. But if the play calling isn't so good, he's horrible. But if you watch the game, you had to come away thinking the Vikings should have won by more than 7. They should have. They dominated statistically. But of course, you got to have those mistakes. You got to have the missed field goal.
Catch wasn't clean. Watch his finger. It's really on the back of the ball and not so much on the front.
You got Remmers just completely not blocking a guy on 3rd down to take us out of field goal range.
Al, you have a creative mind. Tell me what Mike Remmers is doing right here.
Let me watch.
Was it a screen? He almost pushed him into Kirk Cousins.
You got Diggs not making that catch in the end zone. It's like, yeah, that was a tough catch, but what a perfect throw that Cousins made to put the game away, and Diggs doesn't bring it in. You gotta bring that in. And that's why you're not the #1 receiver, buddy. I'm sorry. I do think the big thing, we got to find the right way to use Dalvin Cook more. Now that he seems to be healthy, I mean, that touchdown catch was just blew me away. It's like, get him the ball more. Find a way to get him the ball more. And he and Diggs on the field at the same time with both their explosiveness. You got to find a way to exploit that because they can't cover both those guys. Or if they try to, then you get Thielen, Mr. Unathletic, involved. Or you throw to Treadwell if you want to lose. Our awards this week, the award for an announcer who's super surprised about something that's not surprising at all goes to Chris Collinsworth.
Did I really just see that? Did Everson Griffen get run over?
Award for an announcer who's nicely saying, quote, he's not sucking for once. That was Collinsworth talking about Cousins.
This time we're seeing Cousins actually see what's happening on the field, and it just doesn't look like pro football.
The obligatory dangerous lateral by the Vikings deep in their own territory. Of course, that goes to Cousins, and Dalvin Cook made something out of it. At least he caught it. The obligatory Everson Griffen jumping off sides on third down.
Third and long, and they got a jump.
The award for a coach who was even more excited than Mike Zimmer after a 3-yard run on 2nd and 11 goes to Pete Carroll. That was creepy.
Happy Turkey Day!
I do feel kind of sexy today.
A Freudian slip of the week, that goes to Troy Aikman, who was watching a different game on Thanksgiving.
Well, that was offense playing defense there. Immediately, Xavier Rhodes was underneath that. Actually, sorry, Xavier Woods.
Saw a cornerback drop an easy interception and just thought Xavier Rhodes. Although that cornerback didn't fake an injury, so I still think you gotta see the fake injury to have that truly Freudian connection. Pocket pool champion of the week goes to Gophers football coach PJ Fleck. Maybe it was the power of that pocket pool that propelled the Gophers to victory against Wisconsin. Wasn't that awesome? And chicken bleep how Wisconsin wouldn't let the Gophers storm their bench. The award for the best impression of Lyle the effeminate heterosexual. Now, we gave this to Gene Steratore a few weeks ago.
Does possess the ball with both hands after he receives the shotgun snap.
Yeah, right. I'm going to give up the swimsuit issue.
We're giving it to him again.
Gene Steratore, good to have you out in the field. You've been in the studio. How are you enjoying your first year? Away from the field, away from the court.
Really enjoying it. It's great to be back in the stadium, though. You know, you don't realize how much you miss that until you get back on location.
Well, I know with basketball season starting up, too. I mean, you were one of the best in college basketball, too. So it's got to be a whole new world for you. Happy Thanksgiving. I know you're heading to Sandusky, Ohio.
I'm going to go right past Sandusky into Pittsburgh to hopefully get some leftovers, you know.
I'm going to be right behind you on the way around the lake.
Are you guys okay to finish the game before you guys take off, or should we?
Yeah.
Not sure about the heterosexual part at this point, but hey.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
So, next week, Patriots. So I live in New England. I have for about 13 years. Patriots are good. They are a good team. They don't beat themselves. Vikings always try to do it. They don't ever beat themselves. They got the best quarterback of all time. They got Gronkowski. They got Julian Reutelman. They got Josh Gordon. They got a couple of pretty good running backs. They got defensive players who make plays. And they got Bill Belichick, Bill Belichick is going to look at our offense. He's going to look at Kirk Cousins and say, I know exactly what we need to do to stop him. If Diggs and Thielen both play, he's going to probably find a way to take both of them out of the game mostly. So somebody else is going to have to step up, and that's going to have to be Diamond Dalvin Cook. Running him between the tackles is not a good idea. You got to get him the ball in space. Easier said than done maybe, but that's our only chance. Our defense is not going to stop them consistently. We're not going to get pressure with our front four the way we did this week. Blitzing Brady doesn't really work. Brady's going to have time. He's going to find open guys. Julian Reutelman running across the middle. Gronkowski, he's impossible to cover. And we got to go in there with the intent to score 30 points. If we don't score 30 points, we lose. If we score 30 points, we might still lose. We have to go in there the way we started the Rams game, getting Cousins out of the pocket. He'll probably throw a bunch of interceptions anyway because it's a road game and outdoors, and he won't have his perfect pocket to pass in and his cauliflower crust pizza. But that's our only chance. That is our only chance, is to outscore the Patriots. I think a lot of people in Minnesota, from what I hear, think the Patriots are on the downtrend. They're not. They're never on the downtrend, okay? This team is good, and we have not beaten a single good team. So don't be surprised if we get our butts kicked. Hopefully it's at least close, but I have my doubts. Anyway, we don't like the Packers.
Oh, well, I don't like them.
You don't like the Packers?
Yeah, because I don't like their pants.
You don't like their pants?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're too bright.
Their pants are too bright, yeah.
The Vikings kind of look different. It almost looks blue.
It does almost look blue.
Yeah.
It's like a blue-purple, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just the TV.
Yeah.
I can't afford a good TV because of mommy.